Just water. Cup for water. Boil the water for 2 minutes. And be careful, it's going to come out really hot. And these are not going to be mixed, obviously. It's going to be, I'm going to do one at a time, and I'll show you how that is as soon as this water boils out. Alright? See you in a minute and 40 seconds. Okay, so that's done. Careful, because it's boiling hot. So, for the tortoise, it's this. Okay. Also, some of this. Alright. And that you soak in water. You don't have to, but I do it. The directions say soaking in water. So I actually soak a bunch of it, and it comes out looking like this. See that? And I actually feed it that way, but I'll drop a couple pieces in after the soaking. Some of the dry pieces in too on top. Just to give, I like to give different textures and different, I guess, thickness of the food. Some cactus without the spines. I'm gonna cut those into little pieces. A little couple pieces of spinach. This is for the fish. A couple pieces of spinach. And that's only once in a while. Or I'll give these a few times. This a few times a week. But mostly this is also a couple times a week. Never always the same. Never every day. And for their everyday diet, it's grass. So I'll go out and get some grass in a few minutes. And this is the Calcium Plus, also the supplement. So this is calcium and has some vitamins and minerals in here. So it's a calcium supplement. And I also use the calcium that I showed you before that I use for my water changes. It's going to be in one of the other videos. I don't have the bottle right now because I actually just threw it away. But I use that for the water. And I put it in the spray bottle. So the spray bottle has actually got water that's enhanced with calcium. I'll spray the food down with that, spray the tortoise down with that, and use that as his drinking water. And the reason for that is because these tortoises actually come from, the grass that they eat comes from a really calcium-rich soil. So they're getting a lot of calcium in their food. So it doesn't hurt to give them a little bit extra calcium. Now I've got another cup here. Now for both of these foods, for this one, for the tortoise food, and the fish food, for both of them, it's equal part of the powder mixture and either 2 or 3 parts of water. I'm going to do about 3 parts of water and 1 part of the mixture. Now that just means they all have to be even. It doesn't matter what size you can use. You can use this entire whole cup if you want. But just make sure they're even parts. So I'm going to use this. I think some people use teaspoons. I'll use this, fill up the cup, and go with the powder first. And then I'll start with 2 for the water, and then I'll add a little bit extra, 2.5, or maybe I'll get the full 1/3 in to get the thickness that I want out of the thing. So you see it right there. 1 part of powder to either 2 or 3 parts of water, it's depending on how you want it to be. Okay. There you go. So 1 part powder. Dump it in there. Then you're gonna go 2 parts water initially, and eventually I'm gonna try to get to 2.5. And careful, because it's really hot. Okay. 1 part water. 2 parts water. I use these for everything. These are my, you know, snake, and they came out as snake tongs, but I use them really to feed. I feed the ball pythons live, so I don't really use this for the snakes. But I do use this to feed the fish and the tegus, and actually as my mixing apparatus. So I'm just gonna mix it for a little bit, and actually I like the way it looks. I may just add just a little bit more. Like I said, I usually do 2.5. Just a little bit there for that, because I don't want it to be too watery. I like mine a little thicker. And what'll happen is this will start to cool off and dry off, and it turns into, it kind of looks like you know, canned dog food. Yeah, pretty much canned dog food, because it's a little thicker than the canned cat food, at least the ones that I've seen. But this will pretty much come out like canned dog food. And it's not dog food, obviously. After you mix it, like, so obviously I didn't show you before because I paused it before, but while you're mixing it, you get, it's gonna be a lot. I just push it all down and leave it for a few. Now you're gonna let it settle for a few minutes, and you see it's already starting to get like that jello-y mixture in there. So just leave it and let it settle down. And see, that's how it starts to look. It's gonna get a little bit thicker than that once it dries out. So let it settle down, and we'll work on the do the fish food too now. That's another cup. It's the fish food. Has the exact same directions, by the way. So, same directions. Where is it at? Okay, that's the ingredients. Directions. 1 part powder, 2 to 3 parts of water. Okay, same directions. And actually, it's gonna see if you put the water first. I'm using the same the cup, and it's wet, so the water's stick there. But that's all right. We'll pour it in, and we'll get it undone. So 1. See. 2. Let's just get the half in, because now we already know. 2 and about half. I got some spillage there, so I'm gonna pour that in real quick. There you go. I just slid it right in, and I needed 2 hands for that, so I had to put pause. So same thing, give it a good mix. And I guess this time I'll show you what I mean about pushing the mixture down after it's done mixing. See, it's coming up on the sides. And you just push it down like that, okay? Alright, and I'll be back in a few seconds. Alright, so that's it. Mixing. See, it's starting to turn jello-y as it starts to harden. That's the fish food. And here's how the tortoise food is already. See that? That's it. 1 piece. Now you can break it up. Like that. See how it comes out? That's it. Feed it to the tortoise. And there's the tortoise eating his mixture. And that's also a piece of cuttle bone, by the way. Cuttle bone, bird cow. All right, Dean. And you might not be able to see it. It might be pretty dark. Because guess what? My battery's dying again. It's my male purple tegu. It's Barney. Hey Barney, say what's up. He's out here eating. And I'm actually doing this one in reverse. And I actually did that one in reverse because I forgot, pretty much. But this is the mealworms in a can, snails in a can, crickets in a can, and my food mixture, which is mostly ground turkey, but there's a little bit of just some chicken gizzards, chicken hearts, mixed vegetables, mixed fruits. I've got some salmon, some flounder, some tuna, and a couple of other vegetable items just blended in here. Eggs, the entire eggs. I pretty much hard-boil the eggs, and the shell and everything is in here. And I actually feed this to my dogs too. It's also got mackerel and sardines. And the sardines are in the mackerel, pretty much come in whole with the bones and everything. And the eggs as well with the shell for the extra calcium. But yeah, that was the tegus eating. I did that one in reverse, and now I'm gonna do the fish. And there's the fish. There's the fish food. And that's how the fish eat. And I get to throw a lot extra in here because I'm gonna do this entire tank anyway. It's gonna be like a 95% water change anyway. Everything's coming out. I'm even gonna net the fish out and get them out. And for anyone who watched my last video, I'm gonna empty these out and reset them. Neither one of them bred. Just as an update, so I'll reset them, and I'm gonna have to just reset the females too. Try to feed them a whole lot. There you go. She was uninterested, and apparently so was the other pair, even though they seemed more into it. But there are no babies from what I've seen. So let's just be reset and try again next week. It's pretty much all you can do. And there go the babies from the last spawn. And there's Mr. Tortoise. Still having fun picking at his food. I'll probably give him another hour. Same thing with the tegus. Give them another hour, and then put them back outside in their cages. And just so I guess everyone knows, in case, I know if you see my videos before, you've already seen the outdoor enclosures, but if you haven't, these are not their cages. I bring them in here to feed them certain foods. Now granted, that's their tegus. That's pretty much their base diet, and I give that to them every day. Their base diet on a daily basis, and that's fine to eat in the outside in their cage. They got nice food dishes out there, But I'm about to throw in some crickets in here, some live crickets for them. And I've got one Tegus there, one there. And I do the this type of food. This food for the tortoise. I don't want to leave that out in the sun and let it get spoiled or anything. And obviously I can't feed the Tegus crickets in their cages because it's a screen cage. Well, it's a wire cage. If you've seen the other videos, you'll see. And the crickets will be gone. So I'm about to feed them their crickets. I'll give them and the tortoise another hour, and they'll go back outside in their cages. And then I'll show you some of the snakes. Here, let's pull out one. How she's doing. Really nice, beautiful female. This is one of my African imports, by the way. She's gotten so big and pretty. There's the beetles. But pretty much what I did was bought a bunch of mealworms, put the oatmeal with some carrot, and left the mealworms alone. I got a bunch of beetles out of it. There goes one. That's in the process of turning into a beetle. Oh, still wiggling around. Still wiggling. But that's a mealworm in the process of turning into a beetle. And there's a bunch of beetles here. There's another beetle right there. And so there's a bunch of them in there actually. And so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna farming my own mealworms too. And that's it. That just came out of nowhere. I was just feeding there. I brought the animals, some of the animals in to feed, and said, you know what, I could just record a little bit of it. And that's just some of the stuff that I feed them. Obviously, in terms of the fish food, I also give them other stuff too. You know, that's that food is just one of the things I feed them. I also give them frozen bloodworms, frozen mysis shrimp, frozen brine shrimp, live blackworms, live fruit flies, and just a bunch of different stuff. But that's how the fish eat, that's how the Tegus eat, that's how the tortoise eats, for the most part. And obviously the snakes all eat rodents.